You all hear me?
Hell yeah!
So I'm gonna be honest with you all. This is. I'm gonna be honest with you all. This is actually the very first time I've ever done.
She killed somebody.
Hello.
Yeah!
Okay. As I was saying, I'm gonna be honest with you all. This is the very first time I've ever done stand-up comedy, so.
First time for everything!
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go! To 1,000 more!
This might be a bit weird. But, like, it was actually a friend of mine, like the man sitting right here, that like pressured me into doing it. Thank you very much. And we basically came to the conclusion that like before I like truly decided to do it, like maybe I could do some like basic ass jokes. So like maybe it would be like, I don't know, some like knock knock jokes, but like with a racist twist. So I don't know, it'd be like some, I don't know, like why did a chicken cross the road? To get away from the immigrants. Why? Like knock knock, who's there? Oh, it's the immigrant coming to steal your house. Why was six scared of 7? Because 7 was an Arab. You know, like things like that.
Let's go!
But no, I thought about it. I accepted to do it, and I think I have like some interesting tidbits for you all that are pretty funny. So first of all, I think based on my accent, like everybody here like already knows that I'm not from here.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, I've been confused for an American at least 3 times since I've come here, and which is absolutely not the case at all. I'm actually French. Yeah, and I'm gonna explain. I'm gonna explain why I sound like. I'm gonna explain later why I sound like that. But you know, being French, there's like a lot of things that like people automatically assume about you. You know that like I'm rude, I'm dirty, I'm impolite. Which is funny because these are all things that us French people that are not from Paris tend to associate with Paris and Parisians in general. Oh, Parisians are so rude. They're so unpolite. They're like very mean and everything, which is funny to me because like it reminds me of that meme where it's like some Pakistani guy going to an Indian guy and he's like, we don't like your kind, and they literally have the same face. Like, no self-awareness at all, you know. But no, I am French. I'm not from Paris. Specifically, I'm from a region called Brittany, which is like. Oh, pretty cool. Oh, awesome. Well, so it's a region like around the north of France, which is actually very Celtic. Like us Bretons and the Welsh are actually close cousins, actually. So we're Celts, and I actually have like, and I have like quite an unusual name. My name is Corentin, or as like a lot of English speakers have gone to call me Quarantine. So it's a Bretonic name. It literally means like tempest winds. So it's a really badass name, and tempest winds. Oh, Corentin. Yeah, or just quarantine. You know, just
Quarantine.
yeah. So it means tempest winds, which, you know, very badass name. But then until like one of my close friends ruined it for me. This gentleman right here, like, don't get fooled. Like he may have shredded like on the bass and on the turntable. But this guy is both very smart. Like he's actually studying anthropology. So like I would like a big round of applause just for that.
Whoa, I love you, buddy. Jeez, goddamn.
But he also has a tendency to be like, let's just say very funny because when we both found out, because we both found out together that my name means tempest winds. Like at first he was like, oh yeah, that's a badass name, and then he said, you know what? Like with a name like that, you can only become two things: a pro wrestler and a porn star. So I'd like to say to you, Doug, thank you very much. If ever I fall on hard times, I know who to call as my manager. But like, I will say this, with a guy with a last name like yours, you really have no room to like make fun of other people's name. Am I right? Arash Hussein. So, yeah. So I think now is maybe a good transition to explain why exactly I speak the way that I do, because it's true. Like I don't like sound like a lot of French people when speaking in English, and it's because I actually live like internationally. I traveled the world because my dad works in the nuclear field, and it's a job that like meant that our family moved a lot. So I grew up like in France, in Belgium, in New Zealand, in Austria, and Japan. And after like I was done with my high school studies, I decided to go back to France to go to university, which only to go and flunk. So like, and so I lived in New Zealand, and I studied in the Kiwi system because there was like no French school there. So I actually learned how to speak English in New Zealand. And for the longest time, I actually had like a mix of a French accent and a Kiwi accent, which apparently sounded so weird that some neighbors of ours came over to our house and asked, "Are you British?" Which is I guess. like I don't know if my French pride would be too happy with that. But yeah, so like for the longest time I actually had a Kiwi accent, and then
What's a Kiwi accent? What is a Kiwi accent?
an accent from New Zealand. Yeah, and so I had a Kiwi accent, and then we left New Zealand, and I kind of lost it. But since I knew how to speak English, I still like watched a lot of media in English. It's just that like most English-speaking media, like pop culture-wise, was more American, and so like I sort of like developed a more Americanized accent because of it. But like, from my understanding is, like at first it sounds American, but as time passes and people get to know me better, like my accent starts to come out a bit more. And so I've gotten like a lot of things. Like people have said that, like my accent sounds like, some people say it sounds American. This was like mostly from like non-Americans though, so I don't know if their opinion counts for something. Someone said that like I sounded like I was from Quebec when speaking English, which is like probably worse than being called English, honestly. And for some weird reason, like somebody heard my voice and thought Russian. I don't know why, I don't know how, it just developed like that, I guess. But yeah, so I have, this is the reason for like my American voice, but like, I'm not bullshitting you guys, I'm actually am French, so...
I believe you! I never believe a French person!
And so yeah, I decided to come over here to Wales to come and see a very close friend of mine who I've known for like years now, and I actually came here before as well, and I liked my first day so much I decided I needed to come back. But like, I don't want to be too disrespectful, but what is the deal with your train prices? It's yeah, good fucking lord. Like, I'm just privileged, but like in France, like our ticket prices are like extremely low. Like I had to take a plane, go to London, and then in order to go from London to Manchester. Sorry. In order to go from Manchester to Bangor, which is where my friend lives, I had to take a train. I don't remember exactly how much it was in pounds. It was like 66 euros. Just to go to Manchester to
That's about €5 in France.
like the equivalent of 66 euros for like literally a third of that price. I could go from my city, Nantes, to Paris, and it was like the exact same distance. And I pointed that out to like some of Doug's friends. And one of them kind of asked me like, what do you expect for 66, like the equivalent of 66 euros? Do you expect like to get your dick sucked by like the people working on it? And I'm like, yeah, for 66 quid, I'd like a little like handy like while I'm sitting down like reading my magazine or something like. I pay 3 times less to do the same distance back home like. I expect better. Like I'm sorry.
You're right.
But like that was like arguably like the only negative thing I had about my trip, because like apart from like my first visit and my current visit as well was really cool. Like the people are super nice, and Wales is really beautiful. Like not gonna lie, like I've like with my friend we've traveled around like a couple of areas, and something I've noticed is that like small towns in Wales, and I guess in the rest of England, like in parts of England as well, all have like this very unique, colorful aesthetic, like these bricked houses and everything that I find very beautiful. Because in France, like I may not necessarily be from a small town, but I have grandparents who live in a French small town. And a French small town is freaking boring. Like there's nothing interesting. I'm sorry. Like there may be a castle here and there, but like the houses are like all modern buildings and everything. It stinks. And like here, like there's like what, like 3,000 people roughly, give or take. A town where the town where my grandparents live, it's around 2,000 people. And it seems considerably smaller. Like here, like you guys are very lucky. Like you have like a town that's like fairly like spaced out. You have access to the port. Like it's pretty. Like where I have to go to meet my grandparents, I just end up like getting bored. And so yeah, Wales is really cool. Wales is really cool. Me and my friend, we in fact went to like the city with the long name, like Clanfa, Clanfa, Cogeri, Clancio,
Your English is brilliant, by the way.
Show-offs. Or as me and my friend came to call it, Landfair, Piggly Wiggly, go get him, go, go, go. It was fun. It was fun times all around. Having visited Wales, I got to meet some of Doug's friends as well. Namely this gentleman right here, who was also one of the band members of that you just saw. Exorcyzm, yeah. Really nice guy, and just like me, autistic. So autism represent. And what's great is that like he's really proud of it too. Like he'll wear like literally like shirts that like say like don't like interrupt me, like I have autism, or like I'm half expecting him to wear like a t-shirt with like a skeleton with like machine guns and it says like SWATistic or something.
I know which one's on about.
And he told me like a fun anecdote. He told me like one of his teachers legit believed that like ketchup like caused autism. And so like his teacher told his parents that like, I think the reason your son became autistic was because you fed him too much ketchup. And so apparently like it became a recurring joke among his friend group. And I recall like as I came here today, like I was like holding the ketchup bottle and we 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Well, I'm almost done.
2 minutes.
Show us your willy.
Guys.
At least take me on a date first, please. Come on.
Thank you, Mason. Georgie Goose.
You know, I think I might take back every nice thing I said about Wales, honestly.
I want to see your perineum.
No, but I was gonna say, I had like a ketchup bottle with me, and because of like what he said to me, like the first time we saw each other, like we were like joking about like, oh yeah, like this will cause autism, and I literally like I went to him and I showed him it, and I told him like consume this and unlock a higher power. Like unlock the next stage in human evolution. But I guess that's it, guys. So like.